Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing well. It's been a while since I've been able to do an audio address on our newsletter, as things have been pretty busy here in Washington, D.C. Now, as you know, we had a somewhat prolonged vote for Speaker, which caused us to get off to a relatively slow start. But since then, we have been running on all cylinders. Not only have we been pushing through some very critical and conservative legislation, we've been working overtime and holding the Biden administration accountable. While we have a tremendous amount of work ahead of us to turn back the damage that was done by 4 years of Democratic control in the House, I've never experienced such a drastic change in such a short amount of time. Just in the past few weeks, Republicans shocked the political pundits by showing just how unified we are about restoring sanity to government by passing, for the first time in history, a debt ceiling bill that actually reins in government spending. The passing of this critical legislation out of the House has sent shockwaves across the D.C. establishment, who were expecting us just to continue with the status quo. By showing our determination to rein in the out-of-control Washington spending, we may have finally reached a critical turning point towards fiscal responsibility. Unfortunately, the Democrats in Congress and the White House are so locked into the status quo of fiscal irresponsibility, they simply ignored this bill and demanded that the House of Representatives agree to simply extending more credit to allow the government to borrow and spend more money. Our national debt is a whopping $32 trillion, which is nearly double what it was when I was first elected to Congress a few short years ago. And it's beyond time to be serious about curbing our out-of-control spending habits, and we're taking that bold step now. In response to our passing the Limit, Save, and Grow Act, the Biden administration tried to publicly build opposition to the bill by blatantly lying that the bill cut veterans' benefits. But that false allegation was quickly debunked when the Appropriations Committee released an appropriations bill, which includes actual increases in veteran spending. For the past 100 days, the president has refused to discuss the debt ceiling, even though the Treasury Department has said we will reach our debt limit on June the 1st. But finally, earlier this week, President Biden agreed to meet and start negotiating with Speaker McCarthy. But with only days left before the government defaults, the president decides to jump on a plane for a trip to Asia. This is our opportunity to actually turn the tide on runaway spending. And Republicans, we're going to hold the course for change. Also, in the past couple of weeks, we passed a massive border security bill that would restart construction on the border wall, get Border Patrol agents back to securing the border instead of just processing illegals into our country, and it will place advanced technology along the border to assist in curtailing illegal crossings and cartel activities. This week, the House also passed bills to support our brave and dedicated law enforcement officers across the nation. While one bill expresses the support of Congress for law enforcement, another bill actually allows law enforcement officers to purchase their service weapons upon their retirement from service. And a third bill passed this week would require the deportation of any immigrant that assaults a law enforcement officer. As you may be aware, the Speaker has also appointed me as chair of a special subcommittee to investigate the security failures at the Capitol on January 6th and investigate the work of Pelosi's hand-selected committee on January 6th. While much of our work is being done scouring through millions of pages of documents, viewing thousands of hours of security camera footage, and interviewing witnesses and persons of interest, we are starting to make some headway. Although it didn't get much media coverage, the committee uncovered documents that showed that the January 6th committee lied about there being reconnaissance tours of the Capitol and Capitol office buildings on January the 5th, 2021. Not only did they have evidence that there were not any reconnaissance tours, the January 6th committee knew this more than a month before they made their false public accusations. The fact that they would lie about this in their official report leads us to further investigate other claims made by the January 6th committee. Our objective is not to vindicate anyone nor to cast blame on anyone, but to find the truth and let the American people know what actually happened on the Capitol on January the 6th and take actions to ensure it never happens again. There are other and more obvious signs that Republicans are now back in control of the House of Representatives. Once again, the hallways of House office buildings are filled with visitors making their way to visit with their representatives. Sounds of school groups and tourists once again reverberate off the walls inside the Capitol building as our tour guides lead them on tours. And visitors fill the seats in the House galleries to observe their legislators at work on the House floor. Just as we promised, Republicans have reopened the Capitol to the people of this country. There is still a whole lot of work to be done, but there is a new sense of optimism in Washington, D.C., at least among freedom-loving conservatives. Optimism that we are beginning to turn things around and that the vision of a nation that is free, safe, and full of opportunity is just over the horizon. God bless you, and God bless America.